Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're demystifying the incredible century-long evolution of Bollywood. Because, beyond the dazzling choreography and the massive global box office dominance, there is this absolute powerhouse of an industry. And for the past 100 years, it's served as the ultimate mirror reflecting India's massive societal shifts.
Now, to really grasp this cultural force, we kind of need to nail down exactly what it is. People toss the word around a lot, but the term Bollywood is actually a portmanteau. It blends Bombay, which is what we now call Mumbai, and Hollywood. Specifically, it points to the Hindi language engine driving a much broader, incredibly diverse Indian cinema landscape.
So, a crucial point right off the bat. Bollywood is not a genre. It's a geographic and linguistic titan anchored right in Mumbai. Under this massive industry umbrella, studios are pumping out thousands of films. We're talking psychological thrillers, intimate dramas, laugh-out-loud slapstick comedies, and high-octane action. They operate on a sheer scale and volume that consistently shapes global entertainment.
To really understand how it became this juggernaut, we're going to track its evolution through 5 distinct eras: the silent origins, finding a voice, the golden age, the Masala era, and finally, global Bollywood today.
Let's kick things off with our first era, the silent origins, laying the groundwork.
What's truly wild here is how the Indian film industry innovated at an absolute breakneck pace. Back in 1913, cinematic pioneer Dadasaheb Phalke released India's very first full-length silent film, Raja Harishchandra. And from that one singular release, the 1920s just exploded with a massive boom in studio infrastructure, literally hurtling the industry straight toward the era of sound by 1931.
And, even without sound, these early silent films were absolutely critical. Since actors couldn't actually speak to the audience, the industry leaned heavily into exaggerated, highly expressive physical acting and just incredibly lavish visual spectacle. Filmmakers were drawing deep inspiration from ancient epics like the Mahabharata and Ramayana, as well as traditional Parsi theater. This really set a grand stylistic foundation that would stick around forever.
This brings us right into our second era, finding a voice, the era of sound.
The year 1931 marks a profound, completely seismic shift. This is the year the very first Indian talkie, Alam Ara, directed by Ardeshir Irani, finally premiered. And let me tell you, the inclusion of sound caused an absolute frenzy. The police literally had to be called in to control the massive, swarming crowds outside the theaters. Going to the cinema practically overnight became this entirely new, immersive sensory experience.
But the addition of synchronized audio didn't just add dialogue, it completely revolutionized the art form itself. Most notably, it birthed playback singing. This is a uniquely defining trait of Bollywood, where actors actually lip-sync to professional vocalists. It ended up creating this powerful dual-star system. You had your on-screen actors and then your legendary singers. Plus, local dialects finally became central to the narrative, which meant the stories resonated on a much deeper local level.
Moving on to the mid-20th century with our third era, the Golden Age, reflecting a new nation.
So India gained its independence in 1947, and cinema deeply reflected that profound change. Filmmakers started to shift away from pure mythology. Instead, they used cinema as a really powerful tool for social realism. Legendary figures like Raj Kapoor and Guru Dutt, and iconic films like Mother India focused heavily on the everyday struggles and aspirations of nation-building. It was cinema, but with a deep, grounded social conscience.
However, culture is always shifting. Welcome to the fourth era, the Masala era, a shift in tone.
Now think about the last time a really tough year made you crave pure, unadulterated entertainment. That is exactly what happened here in the 1970s. The gritty realism of the Golden Age gave way to high-octane escapism. Audiences were dealing with a lot of economic and political frustrations, so they flocked to theaters for the angry young man trope. This was absolutely cemented by superstar Amitabh Bachchan in the 1975 blockbuster Sholay, which featured working-class heroes fighting back against a corrupt system. It was during this Masala era that filmmakers developed a highly calculated recipe for blockbuster success. The word masala literally translates to a mixture of spices, and honestly, that's exactly what these films were. You take Step 1, action, mix in Step 2, romance, add Step 3, comedy, and top it off with Step 4, musical numbers. They blended these intensely flavorful, disparate elements into one highly digestible formula that literally kept audiences glued to their seats for 3 hours at a time.
Which finally brings us to our fifth era, global Bollywood today, the modern giant.
With well over 100 years of continuous evolution in the rearview mirror, this industry now operates on an unimaginably massive scale. We are talking about a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that produces hundreds of films every single year and consistently outpaces Hollywood in terms of sheer global ticket sales. It's just staggering.
And today, the industry is fiercely adapting to the digital age. Global streaming platforms haven't just exported Bollywood around the world, they've actually forced the industry to elevate its production values and tighten up its storytelling. Why? Because now they are competing directly with Hollywood on the exact same screens in your living room. But through all of these shifting musical and narrative structures, the industry is fiercely maintaining its core cultural identity while continuing to innovate.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you pondering this. As technological barriers totally vanish and global tastes start to merge, what will the next evolution of the Masala formula look like on your streaming device? Bollywood has spent a century mirroring a changing nation, so how will its next century mirror a changing world?